I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meeting the money collection agent. And I want gas meters there except through penny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
And yet, the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key.
Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is?
What if there's a leak?
Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hallowed chalice.
What do you mean by that remark, Lord Van Zeeks?
I'm fucking wasted, dude. Oh, there's like 3 judges now. Oh god, did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet now we must listen to this abhorrence. Makes me so fucking pissed. Clearly what separates the vast British Empire and your eastern island nation is more than geographical distance.
What do you mean by that? This could turn out to be crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go on. My leg!
Do what you will. I'll keep throwing glass, however long
Seems
as I
to be in
feel.
a violent mood.
Yeah, he does.
Don't.
Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incidence of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true they would appear completely unrelated at first glance. However, I'm stupid, and the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual of places. And the first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is.
He is 3 possums and a trench coat.
Okay. So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with those gas meters, aren't they? Are they? They're the latest model. The height of technology developed by our company, Aldermont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes? So if a 3-pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night?
That's 6. If they had both gas lights and gas stove, they would use more, actually.
Thinking about it, Soseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Ah, yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company?
Every few days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins.
I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Ah, because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. And yet the meter of Mr. Shamspeare.
Hold it!
Out of interest, how long has this been going on?
Weeks and weeks. He's been pitching gas off us for ages.
And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room, I take it? Naturally. We took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb.
And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume.
No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock. The Shamsphere Special. That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of three penny pieces. But even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty.
I'll never forget the humiliation when I opened up the money box and found it bare. You what? I said. You what?
Please don't ever look at me straight forward ever again.
That look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the. I just fucking ripped it out. And you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it. It jimmied open anyway, not on a single side. What's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what.
A life-threatening situation, in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of the meter? Of that meter?
Nothing became of it, I've still got it.
Oh.
Why?
No wonder they call you Meter Man. I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. Okay. So is this the old one?
Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your ridiculous testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter.
Oof! So it's got the lock. It's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it? And the money box is sealed with beeswax. Fucking of course it is. So if Mr. Sholmes were to get up to any mischief, he'd be found out immediately. Mr. Naruto, mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Sholmes would... You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you? Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard that money that's rightfully theirs. But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it?
I'm thinking it's got something to do with that soap.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
There's a hole on the bottom.
There's a hole. Oh, what's... Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruto? Just here. There's a little hole. Do you see? Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed. It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say. So you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspear? Possibly, but I'm wondering how the fucking people at the gas company missed it. Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through the inside. Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through there. That's true, but even so, it seems more than a little suspicious. There's a tiny hole at the base. Okay.
Did you check the back?
I did, yeah. There's nothing here.
On the top? Yeah. Okay, so it is just the...
I think the hole is what we need to look at. But I'm wondering... So the soap, we completely lost the thing that was in it. I think it is the soap. I think we have to connect the soap. This game is a little bit less, yeah, you see it's pooling up at on the ground. That's the gas. So yeah, it's just a fucking gas leak. Okay, so obviously this is wrong.
But he's probably still...
So I think we just need to present the...
Objection.
Yeah. Lady Alamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with. What?
Get away! I've been over and over that thing! I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it!
It was literally the second thing I found on it. In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box?
Oh? What?
You're right. You're quite right. There's a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamspear secretly opened up this hole himself. Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised. But why?
Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farthing through that.
Lady Almont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design. What sort of details? Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it differentiates coins? How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put on a 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work, presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin has been fed as a through penny bit? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A threepenny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit. I see, it's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord. Nothing else will fit. Well, I want to do this, but it's...
Click it.
Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on this side, about 2 centimeters across, or 3/4 of an inch. He's been
using
melting-
wax.
He's been using wax! Oh, it melted. Oh my god. Yeah, this is a really good second case.
Objection.
Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as a threepenny bit? What was it? The item in question is this!
What? Have you been inhaling gas? It's a bar of soap!
It certainly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, and I must say. It looks like I'm going to have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap is this part. Oh, for fucking...
Got it!
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Oh my, it's a chiseled out hole! How dirty! Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right. A depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. About the same as my own depression, if you think about it. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit.
Get away!
Does anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? The judge is robbing us. Holy shit. Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit. Now to see if it fits. Oh dear. It couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Almont Gas Company is being defrauded. Dude, like, I get it, soap is probably all he had available for him, but do you know how hard it is to make an indention of a perfect size, like, for a mold out of soap? Like, I've done that before. Soap is fucking hard to chisel. Like, it's specifically designed so that you're able to use it a long time.
So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas?
Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a sad, sad man with a threepenny bit. I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape.
And then you can use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You could make fake coins in no time.
Yeah, they both look like bees.
If you're making the soap by hand, because you did have it outside in the cold, like on the windowsill,
Yeah.
that's just to harden it. But while you're making it, it is very soft and malleable.
I suppose, but like most people don't get soap when it's soft.
If you're poor, you make it.
Yeah, like, I imagine he put it out in the cold to harden it so it wouldn't melt when he put the wax in. But, like, yeah. That's the method Mr. Shamspear has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, Lady Alamont, in the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear.
Fuck. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes?
Exactly. And the meter here gives it away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. Please expose your evidence for the magic. I want to know the secret.
It's the wax.
Is it the wax? I don't think it's the padlock, no. I think it's the hole. Like, it's just been leaking out.
Got it!
We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window.
Outside?
Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meter Man, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap.
Oh, I get it.
That's right. The answer, of course, is ice.
Did you say?
Wait,
Oh, that's actually pretty smart too.
that is also smart, yeah. Mr. Shamspear has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid next morning. Yeah, I guess wax would be a lot harder to melt than ice.
Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts,
Turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Alamont gas. Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water. Meanwhile, everybody in the public gallery is like, write that down, write that down.
I could have been doing that this entire time.
I think, like, throw pennies are, like, 3 cents, though, so it's, like, really cheap. Mm-hmm. But it's, like, I mean, if you're doing 3 of those every night, if not more, they said. Mm-hmm. I guess that probably adds up. It's, like, a dime for, I don't know, I guess I'd have to go into the fucking inflation rate to see how much that would cost, but, like, a dime for a night of warmth? Like, that's not terrible. I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless? I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence. Sorry? I want evidence. If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Yeah, I've got evidence. I've had evidence for a long time. What? Mr. Naruto, are you saying you actually do have evidence to support this theory? Yeah, I'm actually a good lawyer. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. A piece of evidence that substantiates the theory
So
about...
it wasn't gas, it was water.
Yeah, it was water. I was gonna say, because that doesn't make any sense for it to be leaking out of the meter. It's this picture, yep.
Take that!
Slap. This is a photograph. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspear.
What remnants?
Is leaky. Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspear's room. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly, it's a water stain, resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter. If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating this room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. Well, he's not getting his deposit back. And there's further evidence, too. Mr. Shamspeare is slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine.
There's a bar of soap.
And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right.
It would appear to me then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not.
He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shamspeare was found with a fork in his hand.
A meal of soap is it's sounding increasingly like it.
You mean to say he was using that fork too?
Yes. To extract a frozen coin from the bar of soap. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well.
Good gracious.
Fucking hit himself in the head.
Yeah.
It could be. If it's not a gas leak, it's...
I think I've had too much wine.
Lord Van Zeeks.
Alright, I was throwing my hand up in despair, and happened to catch my hollowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. Also, my learned friend, you owe me a new bottle of wine.
Oh, you jack shit. You didn't have to take this. You didn't
What
have
is,
to take this
what
gas.
is the meaning of this, Counsel?